My name is Kimberley Frances Crossman. I'm an actress and presenter. I'm originally from New Zealand, but I currently live in Santa Monica in Los Angeles. I'm in my 30s now. I recently got engaged and I have no biological children yet. I can decide what I want to eat, what I do with my finances, where and when I travel, who I want to be, and who I want to spend my time with. As I start to plan a wedding, trying on dresses, and getting ready to be a wife, I realize that my journey to the altar is very different than some other women around the world. I was first introduced to Uganda the way most people my age were, through a social media video called Kony 2012. A call to action video that spread across YouTube, as it was the first experience that I had of a piece of media really grabbing my attention and calling me to action to encourage governments around the world to find and stop Joseph Kony. He was the leader of a rebel group who had an army of child soldiers. He was responsible for approximately 10,000 murders and the abduction and enslavement of more than 24,000 children. This is what was happening only just over a decade ago. I was invited by World Vision to visit Uganda to learn more about the important work being done to support children now. Because there's another threat to children in Uganda, specifically young girls. Child marriage. So I packed my bags, not really sure what to expect, and off I went. So when I arrived in Uganda, it was pouring with rain. It felt like we kept getting delayed and it was frustrating, and there were already so many obstacles in the way of the work that we wanted to do. I felt before I spoke out for and with these young women who are at risk of child marriage, I needed to be there to already see the work that is being done, and most importantly, where people's child sponsorship money is going and how and who it is helping. Some very brave young women have taken matters into their own hands to stand up against child marriage.
Hi, New Zealand.
She's 25. She narrowly escaped child marriage.
My name is Dorothy Nyakuru.
Can you explain to someone who doesn't know what is child marriage?
A child is someone below 18 years. People here, when they marry when they are still young, they end up producing many children.
Can you tell me what the night was like when your mother came to you to let you know that your uncle had organized for you to be married?
I'm not educated, I don't have money, I'm not dependent. She told me, Dorothy, uncle has got for you someone who is going to help us and who is going to support us, to give us food and help us in digging. So she told me to be good, to respect the man who is going to come. Then I accepted. She told me to accept. I accepted that night. Then I went back to sleep, but I didn't sleep. I thought the whole night. I was thinking what to do. Then I thought of what our senior woman teacher told us when we were about to leave the school. Early marriage is not good. Marriage is not good. We are coming out. The life out is not easy. So we should take care of ourselves. We should not accept free gifts as ladies. We should not accept forced marriages. That's why now early in the morning I had to escape.
It's a difficult decision for these girls to make. It's not just as simple as like, no thank you, I don't want to. You know, she's got her mother that she also has to provide for. This is a solution to a lot of their problems that come with poverty.
If I don't go for marriage and I continue struggling, if I succeed, I'll still come back and help her. That is what I thought of.
One of the consequences of child marriage that Dorothy spoke to me about is teen pregnancy. In 2021, Uganda recorded 31,565 teen pregnancies every month. Around 90% of adolescent pregnancies happen to girls who were married before their 18th birthday, and often they have little to no say in the decision of whether they'd get pregnant or not. We traveled north to a really remote village. It was a long journey, but it was worth it because I got to sit down with two teen mums, Emmanuel and Immaculate. And so they're able to bring their babies to school. They don't have a lot of support outside of school, so they can bring their children to school so they can still feed them when needed in class. And I left feeling quite conflicted. I felt really angry to hear the stories, to find out that often teenage pregnancies in sort of these communities are a result of rape or consensual, but with a trade of much needed funds, money, gifts, things for survival. And if the women do fall pregnant, even today, 2023, 2024, in this climate, both these girls were shamed. They had to remove themselves from their current living conditions when their family or their brothers found out that they were pregnant. So it's a really isolating situation for these young girls to be in. Hearing their story was pretty full on, pretty emotional, and I just kept thinking, how can I help? What can I do? I just feel so lucky to be able to be on the ground and meet some of these brave and empowered young women who have been fortunate enough to be educated. You know, whilst there really is so much need, it does feel that educating young women, not only in their school studies, but also about their rights, their body, their future, can really change the trajectory of their lives and avoid them being subjected to child marriage. I wanted to see what it was like for young girls who have had the opportunity to be educated. As we're driving up in like this perfect timing, this beautiful choir of girls, all in height order, sort of came clapping and singing, saying they were like happy to receive us. I think in year one they have almost 1,000 students. Yes, starting school is one thing, but staying in school is quite another. We then entered a classroom and got this amazing demonstration from a confident 16-year-old young woman who's been part of one of these programs that they have, that World Vision have created in these schools to help teach young women and young boys about periods and about making reusable sanitary pads. She gave us the step-by-step instructions on how to do it. But my takeaway from it was just the confidence in which they were speaking really candidly about periods and how important it is. I have come to learn that previously, without this kind of education, girls would often miss school, or they might have a bad experience where they would show up to school and if they didn't have the proper care, they would then perhaps get embarrassed or laughed at if they had any leaking, and the chances of them returning to school after that was unlikely. If young girls aren't in school, they are more likely to fall victim to child marriage as they don't have the support around them. They have so little, and to me that's really apparent because I'm used to schools and classrooms looking very different, but what they have is some epic teachers that really inject these sort of barren spaces with a bit of a heartbeat and with hope. It's basically one teacher to hundreds of students. So to maintain that energy, my heart just goes out to them about the great work they are doing. You know, normalizing conversations around your rights, your autonomy to your body, your dreams. Like, it feels like having a motivational speaker in your corner every day, and you can see that in the confidence of these young children. Sponsored children are educated, have access to healthcare, are checked on regularly, and are advocated for. And we wanted to make the journey to meet our sponsored child, Jacqueline, for the very first time. It was interesting because I was actually a little bit nervous about meeting her. I don't know if you felt that way, Tom. Did you feel a little
I hope she likes us. Like, I don't know. We're adults. She's the child in this setting. And as soon as we arrived, she just came up to us and she hugged me, and then she hugged Tom and like broke that barrier. You know, it didn't feel forced. It felt beautiful, and she had written a sign to welcome us. And you know, I worry with child sponsorship. You hear people say, "Oh, the money doesn't go there" and stuff, and like, it does. Like, it does. She knows us. She knew we were coming. She wants to maintain relationship. Like, we will continue to be a really important role in her life, and she wants to be a doctor. And I know that Tom and I will do everything we can to help support her in her schooling, to just be an encourager. Girls are seen often as property that can be sold. So the fact that you have the opportunity to make someone feel important and make them feel empowered, and that someone somewhere around the planet is caring about them, it's a very small price to pay to offer that. It's interesting because I think probably Jacqueline's like community, so these are her aunts or non-blood family who she works with and is under their care, kind of referring to me as like a mother figure for her felt really special. I don't have any children of my own yet, so I think I take that role as a stepmom or a role as an auntie really seriously. And I think for me not to put that on the situation, but for them to welcome that, it felt like a lot of responsibility. Every situation that I have been in with World Vision is meeting communities that are entirely funded by Kiwis. Like, I feel Kiwi pride about that.
A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And maybe watching this video is your first step. Our goal is to get 1,000 girls sponsored. And we need people to have open minds, to be curious, to explore child sponsorship, and to take my experience and what I have seen and maybe plant a seed in your mind, because as someone who has sponsored a child and who has had the absolute pleasure of meeting her, it does change your life. And together, we can change 1,000 lives.
I don't want to sugarcoat it. Women here have it pretty tough, and yes, we are trying to make as many changes as possible and help as many young women as possible, but there is a real need here. You know, abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, these are all things that are still very much of the climate here and need to change. I feel really proud to be working with World Vision, to be part of this and seeing firsthand the good it is doing and how responsive the communities here in Uganda are to that work. But my heart is heavy because I am leaving, going back to a life where I get to pursue dreams and travel with not honestly a lot of thought about my safety. I have a beautiful partner who takes care of my heart and my mind. I have a family who love me. To know that I'm going back to that and I am walking away from so much need is tough, but I feel really energized. I feel empowered to make a change, to encourage you to educate yourself, to learn about some of the women here, and with so little they can do so much good in these communities. Let's get 1,000 girls sponsored. Let's get 10,000, 1 million, all of them. They all deserve it. But yeah, my goal is to start with 1,000 because I know that will have a huge effect.
Because the goal is to get 1,000 girls sponsored. And I think we can.